Peace and blessings, family. This is Jakim from the Hard Talk with Jakim. Yes, the truth sayer, the free thinker, the knucklehead slayer. Listen, we're getting ready to have an exciting episode of the Hard Talk with Jakim coming at you right now. Hey, how you doing, family? This is Jakim from the Hard Talk with Jakim, and that's what you're watching right now here on Comcast 190. Look, I've got a lot of things to talk to you about, and we could talk about the election, and we could talk about COVID-19, and we could talk about the pandemic, and we could talk about financials and all the other great stuff. But today, I want to talk to you about this. Local elections are so important. Their only importance is that they affect you more than your national elections. I mean, you know, the president is important, Congress is important, all of that is important. But your local elections has all those things that affect you every single day. And I am telling you right here from the great state of Delaware, Newcastle County, we got crumb bums and we got some crooks. Excuse me. We got crumb bums and we got crooks. And it don't matter what party they with. It don't matter. Believe you me, local elections matter. I'm going to start off with some about local elections, but I've got a lot of things to get. It's November. It's 2020. Some of us are really tired of 2020 because of the COVID-19 and the unrest that we've had. But let me tell you something. I don't want you to be tired of 2020. I want you to think about 2020 in this way. I want you to think that 2020 has been the great revealer. That's right. Maybe I could scroll that across the bottom of here. The great revealer. It revealed a lot of things. It revealed a lot of things to a lot of people about people that you did not know, about things that you did not know, about the lack of government preparation that you did not know. Whether it be the feds or the state or local, wow, we were so unprepared, wasn't we? There's a reason why. We were so caught off guard. There's a reason why. So many people should have known and could have known. There's a reason why. Let me just give you this. A couple of years ago, Michelle Obama, and you know how much I respect Michelle Obama, she said something, and I'm going to paraphrase this. She said she was in the biggest meetings, the most important meetings that the world has ever known. She was married to the president of the United States, so she was there. And she said, basically paraphrasing, how stupid are some of these people that are at this meeting that you think are so important, that you think got things handled, that you think should be in charge of you. Michelle Obama said, man, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, no, those people that got those seats at those tables are not really intelligent people, are not more intelligent than you. So when you hear a political figure, an elected official come tell you, I've been at meetings, I've been at meetings for important stuff for millions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. Just remember, where were they at for COVID? How prepared were they for COVID? Where was that arrogance that I'm at this meeting? Like that mean anything to anybody? That's what 2020 revealed. 2020 is the revealer. We're revealing all the crumb bums. All the crumb bums are being revealed. We're revealing all the inequities that these crumb bums didn't do. Let me tell you, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of you put these people up on pedestals and they have let you down because they never should have been on. A political figure is not a celebrity. Never should have been, and we never should have put them. They work for the people. And if they ain't doing the people's work, I got no use for them. Now, we just got over a crazy election cycle. Man, here in Delaware, we get a lot of our television from Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the big market in Delaware, especially in Newcastle. In Southern Delaware, I think it's a little bit of Philly and Baltimore, but up here in Newcastle, most of our market comes from Philadelphia. So if you know Philadelphia being in Pennsylvania, it was a battleground state. And you know, you Biden and Trump and all the other ancillaries under them. It's very telling when you have people looking to be an elected official for jobs that I think should not even be paying that much, because I hold them way below the guy who's on the tower for a cell phone. That's a risky job. To me, that's a necessary job. It may not be a first responder, but to me, it's front line. The guy who's inspecting that bridge, it's important job. You know, I used to say this all the time, and politicians should be paid less than them. So if that guy's making $25 an hour or whatever he's making, I'm sure years ago they probably were more union, and now they're probably not, because you know how these cell phone companies and these things, and they try to blame everybody else but don't want to blame the right people. I think those are important works. That guy who works here in here in Newcastle, we got Delmarva in most places. And the guy who works on your electricity outside, the guy who works on your gas. And when I say guy, I'm not just talking about male, I'm talking about female as well, because there's fantastic females out there on that. But those are more important to me than a politician. Way more important to me than a politician. Politician is there in the Jakim book. So I just want to say that we had during this election cycle a lot of people, a lot of crazy commercials. I know you've seen them, especially the ones that were in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And we've had our own here in Delaware, but the ones that were in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, there were some funny commercials, man. Listen, they were fantastic, funny commercials. Didn't really get to the heart of the matter. Didn't really get to what we really need to be talking about. But there were some funny commercials. Which leads me over this. If you believe that politics is about electability, that's what politics are, then you are part of the problem. Because believe me, when I hear the word electability, the first thing I hear is white supremacy. White supremacy. We need a person that's electable. No, I need a person who can do the job. I need a person that's going to look out. I need a person who's going to be community over politics. That's what I need. You know, anytime you see the Hard Talk with Jakim, that's the home of the free thinker. That's what we are. We're about free thinking here. I am not about that you got to vote this way or that way. You got to be party loyal. What I'm about is free thinking so that you can put community over politics. And that's how it should be. Anything else is window dressing. Anything else ain't getting the job done. If you ever wonder why you have to pay so much as a senior for you got to do these health. Now, you know, my wife, who comes on right after me with Real Talk with Yolanda, always talking about health insurance. I hear sometimes the stories, man, that people worked all their lives. And then, and the time when they need it the most, that dinero, that capital, that money, when they're older, when they're can't work those long hours anymore, when they may be infirmed or they may be sick or they have an injury, they are in dire straits. They're in dire straits because two things. Some of that, you may agree and you may not disagree, but you may say, Jakim, you are thinking. When I was younger and on the job up in New York City, one of the things they say is, I don't want to be rich. I used to hear the dinosaurs used to tell me this. I don't want to be rich. I just want to live comfortably. Now, comfortably in United States of America has many aspects, don't it? Comfortably means I can't tell you what comfortable means, but I can tell you where it don't mean. I can tell you where it don't mean. If you are a senior and you are at poverty level right now, you are not comfortable. Yes, they got a lot of programs out there. Yes, they can help you with some of your drugs and some of the medical bills. But think about this. If you knew what you know now at 65, 75, especially 65, because that's when the Medicare and that kicks in and all that other stuff. If you knew what you knew now, would you have worked a little harder at 22, 23, 24 to get the financial literacy that you so deserved? Would you have worked hard to understand the political and civic engagement into your neighborhood that you richly deserve? Would you have worked harder and got more knowledge about the way the world really works? I think a lot of you out there would say yes. You're absolutely right. Yes. So we can't have another generation like that. We can't have another generation say, well, I don't want to be wealthy. I don't want to have a good bank account because I just want to live comfortably. Comfortably is a bunch of degrees. It is a whole bunch of it. And let me tell you something. You don't want that. One thing you want to be able to do is know how to make money. You live in a capitalistic society. I'm not talking about going out there and not paying people what they're worth. Not paying people for the work that they do. Not talking about that. So all of those people that's on the other side that want the communism and all, I don't want to hear that. What I want you to understand is that money is neither good nor bad. Reverend Ike used to say this. I used to disagree with it until I paid attention. It's neither good or bad. What it is necessary. You hear what I'm saying? Because the good that you could do with a lot of money is even more good than you can do individually. See, I can't be everywhere. I can't do everything. There ain't enough hours in a day. But my money can do more. My money can help more people get involved. So I'm not against wealth, and I'm not against, but I am against greed. Let me just say that again. I'm not against wealth, but I am against greed, and I'm definitely one. I think Representative Alexandria AOC said it best. She says, you don't make $1 billion when you're a billionaire. A billionaire don't make $1 billion. Billionaires take billions of dollars. That's not what I want to be. But I don't want you to be poor either. Because the other side of that is when you see seniors have to live in places that are disgusting, that are run by our government, you are embarrassed that this is the great country of America when we see our seniors in that situation. When I see my veterans. And just in case you didn't know, I am a United States veteran. United States Army. Big ups if you're Army people out there. If you're Marines or whatever, like my wife is. But Army, we're all on the same team. I'm just kidding you. But I will say this. You understand that money may not be the most important thing in your life, but it affects everything that is important to you. Now, let me just jump off that and jump off of this. We have to stay informed. That's what 2020 has revealed to us. We have to do two things. Stay informed, have action. If you're not doing any of those things, then you're not being engaged in our freedom, our independence. You're not being engaged in it. If you're not staying informed and being active in it. You got to do those two. You can't just have knowledge by itself. Knowledge by itself, it's like, I don't know, you're having a great Christmas or Thanksgiving or Eid dinner or whatever dinners you're having, and you don't have that sweet potato pie, which I love, which gives me heartburn, but I love the sweet potato pie. So, yes, you can have knowledge, but if knowledge is not paired with action, then you got nothing. You got knowledge. You got to have the action. In fact, in some cases, action is more important than knowledge. Because you can get the knowledge just as long as you put that first foot forward. Just as long as you get to doing stuff. Now, I just want to talk to you. So some people out there, you see me on the bus on DART. In Delaware, we have a DART bus. That's my second car. First car goes to the wife. Second car I used to have here, got rid of it. Said I'm going back to public transportation because I want to walk it as I talk it. So I'm on the bus and a young guy says to me, he says, "Man, didn't I see you on television like last month or 2 months ago?" I said, yeah, I got a show. We do the television, we do the social media, we do all that stuff. He said, "Listen, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get this on." He mentioned some rap stuff. He mentioned some music. I am a musician, so I do play. But he mentioned a whole bunch of stuff. But the first thing I asked him is, "What are you doing now?" He said, "Nothing." I said, "Man, how can anybody help you? Do you know how to start it?" He said, "Yeah, well, and then he started, he went on, the young brother went on for about 20 minutes. I'm getting ready to get off this bus. He went on about 20 minutes about hypotheticals instead of saying, this is what I've done. And I tried to bring him back. I said, come on back here, brother. Come on back here. Let me talk to you for a second. Hypotheticals are great for school. They're not great in the real world. Hypotheticals are what they teach you in school. Someone says, okay, this is how I would have done it. But that's not the real world. The real world says trial and error. This is what worked. This is what does not. And I'm going to keep doing it until it does not. When it does not, I'm going to pivot from that. This is what we got to do. And that learning does not stop when you're a young person. Just because you were in your 40s, your 50s, and the 60s, you still got to maintain that same type of work ethic. You have to say, this is what works. This is what don't. Let me throw the don't on and let me continue the real work. That's what happened. I don't know why I didn't bring any water down here. I should have some tea here. I'm getting a little scratchy. But that's how you do things. It's not the way that it is in school. School has its purpose. It has its function. School is supposed to get you curious about. And then you're supposed to do the action. You know, years ago, especially in the 80s and 90s, everybody, oh, School of Hard Knocks, School of Hard Knocks. Yeah, I like the School of Hard Knocks only if you can learn from your mistakes. And that mistake is not something that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Remember, there are some mistakes that you can make that you will not recover from. The days that nothing is written down or there's nothing digitized on it is over. Let me get that clear to you. It's over. Sometimes you can't make that mistake because that mistake won't go away. So I want you to get that knowledge, but I also want you to pair it up with that action. Look, that was a quick 20 minutes. Got a couple of commercials. I'll be back here with my final thoughts. This has been the Jakim Hard Talk with Jakim. Peace. All right, we're back. I got a couple of minutes left, so we're going to just come right back into it. Let me just give this. This is to all those black organizations. Now, if you live in Delaware, if you live in Philadelphia, Tennessee, New York, anywhere around this country, I want you to maybe share this with whatever black organization. It could be the NAACP, Wilmington Urban League. I don't care what those black organizations are. I want you to share this one. This is a call to action to all these so-called black-run organizations in this state. I'm going to talk about Delaware first, and then I'll move out. Let me set the record straight for you. Before you ask any black person that is a free thinker to be a part of your organization, you need to decolonize your organization. What do I mean by that? Here it is. Most of these organizations ain't nothing but Negro managers trying to manage the Negro population. Oh, they'll put their Martin Luther King celebration thing. They'll do their little, what they call scholarships for some of the people that they like. Most of them, not for HBCUs and whatever, but wherever they. But the problem with your organization, the problem the black community has about it, is that your organization is not decolonized. Your organization has been colonized. You are not representing black folk. You are representing those who are sellouts to black folks who have a white supremacy agenda. Now, I didn't stutter, and I didn't stammer. This is the difference between black-owned and black-run. Now, a lot of times, it could be black-run. And when it's black-run, all that means to me is black-targeted. Negro managers. Negro managers. Trying to manage us. One thing you have to say about this 2020, it feels like the people that think they're managing it, they ain't managing. Because nobody believes it. Nobody thinks you're authentic. So these organizations still have the same members, still get the same sellout money from politicians. They still have people that nobody trusts. Not the real folks, not the folks that's out in the street that's really protesting. And I'm not talking about looters. We'll talk about that next month. But I'm talking about protest. They don't trust half of y'all. They don't trust 3/4 of y'all. Because your black organization is just another Negro manager. The other thing is having an authentic voice of the community. Now, here's a funny thing. I will hear from some people outside of our community tell us who, again, the leaders are. There was a pastor here in Wilmington. He did a march. He did a thing, and he did to Rodney Square over in Wilmington. And people were trying to be negative. Oh my God, he's an old head. The kids don't, you listen to him. The kids don't listen. No, you don't think so? You're wrong. They do listen to him. I'm sorry. You can try to discredit him as much as you can. But that person, they do listen to. It's your pastors in those mega churches. Ain't nobody listening to. It's those pastors that got them churches, and every time you see him, he's got to be quoting another Martin Luther King speech or trying to sound like Martin Luther King. Those are the ones that ain't nobody listening to, but your congregation. So when I saw that, I said, man, that is silly. And the persons that were mostly trying to discredit him were not black. They weren't Hispanic. They weren't Asian. So you make your choice on that. They were, and I found it funny that the more they tried to say that this person wasn't a leader, the more you were showing that he was a leader. But that's how they do. Okay, so getting back to black organizations. We've known this for decades, that a lot of black organizations get their money from white folks. Let's call it what it is. They get money from white folks. Maybe some good intentioned white folks, and maybe some not in good intention white folks. And I'm going to expound on that next month about liberal racist, conservative racist. Same thing. Every bird I know that can fly has two wings. But when you have people outside that are flipping the bill for your organization, that really gives the money to your organization, and let's face it, that is what's happening. A lot of white folks give a lot of money to these organizations. So just like in your house, whoever controls the purse strings controls what says, who you support, who you for. That happens it happens in my household. It happens in a lot of people's households, but that's also true for these organizations. So what I'm saying is that these organizations are going to have to start decolonizing themselves. If your organization is always bent on that getting funding from the United States government or from your state government or county to keep the lights on, to keep the doors open, to do things in the community, guess what happens? Your organization is being run by people that do not have your best interests at heart. That happens. It's what it is. That's a fact of life. So to just finish up here, because I just wanted to get some information out to you. I get bombarded when I'm out in the street or when I'm at places. They want to talk about certain things, this or that. We've had a lot of stuff going on here in Wilmington. Of course, during the election with Biden and Kamala Harris, and of course, Trump and Pence and all the other stuff. And of course, Pennsylvania. But I want to get this straight to you, that these black organizations have got to be less Negro managers and more authentic to the people. And that means you may have to take a pay cut. Your organization may have to retool. You may have to find the mission and go back to the original mission of the organization and stop trying to cater to politicians or people outside of private industries to tell you who to follow and who to go for.
YSM Insurance. Let us help to put the pieces together. Have you been thinking about Medicare insurance coverage? Life is full of important decisions, but you don't have to make this one alone. YSM Insurance. We would be happy to meet with you one-on-one to discuss your needs. Please contact us at 302-229-6376. YSM Insurance for your Medicare options.